a review of the new flour. Since the original owner of Bob's Red Mill passed away recently, I just happen to have some of the older artisan bread flour. And this flour, I don't spend a lot on flour. I wait for it to go on sale. I use it very seldom, and I just buy Pillsbury or whatever. Sometimes you can get the King Arthur stuff, and that's very good flour. Especially their all-purpose. I do prefer that to the old Bob's Red Mill. But this flour convinced me to spend the extra money to get really good flour. It comes in this nice packaging, and it doesn't reseal, but at the same time, it is still just exceptionally fresh. And they moved to paper. As soon as he died, they moved to paper. And I just opened it, but the problem with paper is it doesn't seal. It's never actually sealed. And it tears and it aerates, and the flour dries out quicker. It goes bad quicker. And so I just wanted to make, so this, I poured out a little bit, is the original. And this is the new stuff. Can you notice the difference? Look how, it's kind of, clumpy and stuff. As opposed to this, if you shake it, let's see here what happens. Try to keep focus on the camera, that's what I'm doing. This is more granular when you touch it. It has a more gritty feel to it. It doesn't, let's see what it looks like on our fingers. As you can see, my phone would focus, it's more particulate. It's a denser particle. This is very smooth flour. Clean my fingers. This is extremely smooth and velvety soft. And you can see how it spreads on your fingers. It's completely different. Watch how you move it, how it handles that. So let's do that again, and you can see how it's changed. It doesn't. I know, bakers are gonna see the difference. You can see just how it's a heavier flour, and it's not as high quality as it used to be. As opposed to this, when you touch it, it is velvety smooth, and it stays in your, you see how it goes into my fingerprints? It's totally different. And I knew this was gonna fucking happen, and we finally get a really, really good flour, and I take the time, I spend 24 hours or something to make breads. Sometimes I stretch it out that far because it's even better when you let sourdough go that long. If you're making rye bread, actual rye bread, and I still have, this is what I make my rye bread with. That is old traditional flavored rye bread that, this heavier flour, it's not gonna rise as much. And I'm gonna make 2 loaves for my parents to show, the difference between how it used to be versus this. But I can tell you right now that maybe, this is older, and I've used it more, that the finer stuff sifts down. That's possible. We'll see if that happens over time. But I mean, right away you can just see how smooth this flour is, and it has a certain feel in the bag. But tasting it wise, I'm gonna taste it. This actually has way more flavor. You can taste the flour. it's got a what do they call that? Robustness to it. Well, this honestly doesn't taste like anything. Actually, it doesn't taste like anything. There's no flour flavor. You kind of taste the sack. You know, a lot of paper sacks, they well, this actually tastes like flour. It has a flavor to it. I knew this was gonna happen with this. Like, he dies, and what does the company do? Liquidate and profiteer. Like, they went from this to this. Let's look in the bag. Let's just see how it looks. In the bag. So it's kind of like, you know, this looks like modeling clay or something. Okay, so we got it formed. That's how it breaks up. Now let's look at this. We'll get this kind of compressed because, you know, I like when I make flour, I make bread, I do it seldom to appreciate these finer quality things. And you can already see if I compress it, look how it is. Like, it's not the same flour. When you break it up, it's not the same at all. Right. It's completely different. Look at that. That looks like crack cocaine or something. And this looks like high fissure tolerance because of the finer grind of it. And what does that do when you translate to actually baking bread? It translates to rise in the weight of the flour, the porosity. Like, I made some loaves the other day with this. And I have photos of it, and it just came out just beautiful, delicious, real good bread. We'll see with this, but I'm gonna tell you, heavyweight flour. Like, and let's see if we can get closer to it here. If we can get it on a phone, I don't know. As you can see here, these particles, look at the granules of it versus this. It's not necessarily being finer, it's more about how fibrous the flour is and how fine it is. That lets it produce a nice pour inside the bun, inside the crust, I mean, maybe I just sound crazy. I swear though, these are not the fucking same. Like, you can see, like, it's a different color, but it's older, so, you know, I don't have a double blind for that. And I'll separate it more and try to. I look like I'm playing with drugs. But okay, so that's just me moving it with my finger. Now let's move this with my finger and see if it makes a similar pattern. See how, like, it even breaks apart differently. Only time will tell. I swear this has no flavor though. This video is 10 minutes long.